and the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it is Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for all the toy news, action figure news of the week that interested me, that hopefully interests you in a big week of toy news as we're ramping up towards San Diego Comic-Con about 6 weeks from now, depending when you're watching this, I guess. Coming up around the corner, so a lot of stuff to come there, but we're dialing in with a lot of stuff this week as well. We got some big Powertown updates. We, of course, got a lot of McFarlane stuff to talk about, a lot of G.I. Joe, and all points in between, so we will get to all that. But we've got a little bit of housekeeping as well as we start off. Got to thank jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code KYLE. Save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Got to thank them for sponsoring the channel, as you guys know. But if you're watching this Saturday as it drops, they have 20% off, of course, a charity event here today in their brick and mortar stores, but also their online stores. Saturday only, 20% off. Hopefully you're watching this on Saturday. If not, you missed it, but you can still save 15% with code Kyle. Got to thank Jay's Toys and Games for sponsoring the channel as well. And of course, new month of June of my birthday month. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. We passed my wife's birthday. That's in the rear view now. We're looking towards my birthday on June 25th. We'll see what happens with that. Probably nothing too exciting, but fun to count down, something to look forward to for sure. But Patreon, the month of June, we got a giveaway here, a big one. It's multi-packs, the Evolution Target Pack and the Maya Via Pack. One Patreon member will win both of these sets. So check out the Patreon, of course. Chance for a giveaway, but you get so many videos. You probably get 4 or 5 videos every single day over there on the Patreon. All the glamour shots, a monthly Q&A, all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff. A lot going on the Patreon. Appreciate all the support over there. You can also join up if you want early access to the videos for YouTube channel memberships. I have that open now as well. If you'd rather do that route, pick your poison, as we always do say as well right there. Very fun on the podcast this week, episode 11. We just celebrated my wife's birthday, of course. Now we turn to episode 12, almost to unlucky number 13. But this week, this coming Tuesday, wherever podcasts are found with videocast on YouTube, or right now for YouTube channel memberships and, of course, Patreon members, you can watch it this weekend if you want to. But we dive into the 10th anniversary of the first Night Demon album. We got more to talk about in this video about that. We also dive into a little Girls Gone Wild. Anybody remember Girls Gone Wild? And let's tell the story about when Angie went wild once upon a time. We'll dive into that. We got a new Oreo to try, a lot of other stuff to talk about. Check out The Kyle Peterson Show, wherever podcasts are found, videocast on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. Give it the old 5-star rating. You know the drill by now, but also the drill, it begins the toy news. Now, yesterday I did do a special video on all the Mattel wrestling toy news, put all that into a separate video. Check that out. Of course, don't miss out on all that Mattel news. But I got everything else in this video here today, including everything else wrestling. And we're going to start with the retro style wrestling figures. And we're going to KWK. KWK Turnin' and Burnin' Berserker up for pre-order right now. But he did show off a couple of different versions of an upcoming Laredo Kid figure. So a lot of Laredo Kid action here the last couple of weeks with worlds colliding and everything else under the sun. A lot of AEW with CMLL. There's the AAA. There's a lot going on. Somebody get me Mr. Iguana. There's a lot going on in the Lucha world, and KWK jumping into that with a little Laredo Kid as well. So check that out if that interests you. Grapplers and gimmicks. We've unboxed so many grapplers and gimmicks figures over the last couple of weeks on the channel. Make sure you check those out. But Mitch over there did do a live stream. He showed off the brand new Dean Douglas figure. We've seen that before, but looking very good there. General Adnan, very excited to get our first ever General Adnan figure. Also Sergeant Slaughter, looking good as well. Tatanka, part of the $1 Million Corporation. Oh, how did he do that? How did he do that? But the big news from Grapplers Gimmicks this week to me was the Man Mountain Rock. He teased that months ago. Looks like it's around the corner as well. Looking good. Man Mountain Rock comes with a guitar and everything else. We'll stay tuned for that. A lot of good stuff coming out of the Grapplers and Gimmicks. And I think out of all these retro companies, all these other wrestling companies, Mitch over there has proved his doubters wrong the most. Now, not everybody agrees with everything. Not everybody likes everything. But from where he started with the smoke train to where he is now is the biggest improvement of any company. There's no doubt about it. So got to give him his credit. You got to give him his flowers where they are due, I do think. But now, speaking of flowers, how about we talk a little bit about Powertown? And of course, we got a big Powertown update this week.
Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for suffering?
Wonder if they're watching your every move. Cell phones, internet, surveillance. Think about it.
Yeah, once again, not really an update. You guys know the drill by now, but I was wanting to address something. Of course, the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast this week mentioned me on there. Always appreciate the boys over there. Good guys over there, the Major Pod guys. But they were talking about Kyle and his conspiracy theories about Powertown and all this kind of stuff. And they kept saying, well, more Brian saying, well, it's not really a conspiracy. And Matt's a little bit more on my side, I think, about this kind of stuff. But maybe conspiracy isn't the best word, but it also is the right word. And I think they're a little confused because I don't think they watch this channel. They see some of the posts, they see some of the stuff, they hear some of the chirping, but I don't think they watch the videos. I don't think. Who knows? But I use conspiracy. And here's the story about conspiracy. Jesse Ventura on True TV, once upon a time, had a conspiracy theory show called Jesse Ventura's Conspiracy Theory. One of the greatest shows of all time. I love Ventura. I love Ventura doing that kind of stuff. It was just a fun show. Always enjoyed it. That's where the conspiracy, that's where that video comes from. All that stuff we've shown for years on the channel. So it is kind of fun to say the Powertown conspiracy. And is there a conspiracy? Yeah, maybe not. Maybe just mismanagement, mismanaging a business. Call it what you want. But conspiracy, you think doesn't work maybe if you think about it. But then if you think about it a little bit more, does it work? Because what is going on with Powertown? We've said that for years, of course, on the channel. But think of Mattel, think of Hasbro, or go down. We just talked about Grapplers and Gimmicks. We just talked about KWK. We've talked about Zombie Sailor. I know some people don't like his time and his wait times and stuff. But all these other companies, guess what? They're out there. They're proud of their wares, and they're communicating to the fans. Maybe not the best bedside manner sometimes in Zombie's case. I know he gets a lot of grief for that. But I can tell you what, you could reach out to KWK, you could reach out to Epic Toys, Grapplers and Gimmicks, a lot of these different toy lines, Boss Fight, you could reach out to them. They'll answer you. They'll give you a heads up. They'll let you know what they can say. Powertown doesn't do any of that. Now, to me, where a lot of that conspiracy lies with Powertown, think about this. So we had issues from the get-go with delays, of course, like a lot of these companies. And I think we forgive a little bit of delay, especially on your first shot. But they finally come, the figures are broken. If it wasn't for the Major Pod guys, we all would have received broken figures from the get. So we owe a debt of gratitude to them. But shame on Powertown. How are you not checking figures off the line? Like every 50th figure, somebody should be checking, making sure everything is good. You do that in anything mass produced. You have somebody on the line watching that. They did not have that with the Powertown one. So there's a little weirdness there. Mismanagement, conspiracy. You tell yourself what you want to tell. But we had that issue. Then just recently, name change. They go from Powertown to Relatively Worldwide to like Boomerang Entertainment. Are we moving things around? Are we shuffling money? Are we shuffling people? Are we diving around lawsuits? What are we doing? Where's that? What's going on there? I don't know what else to call it besides a conspiracy. Why are you changing names in midstream like this? There's a lot going on. So once again, it could be mismanagement, weirdness, whatever. But conspiracy, I feel, also works on this one a little bit. You had all the issues with Series 1, and then they had the make good with, of course, Series 2. Well, I'm getting the cart before the horse a little bit. They came up with Series 2, gave us dates, delay, without telling us anything about delay. You know, they'll tell us every single day in our email saying, make sure you got 4 days left to order, 3 days left to order, 2 days left to order. They'll bombard you with that. But any news about our purchase, once they have our money, any words go away. They walk away from all that. We got your money. We don't need to talk anymore. So is there a conspiracy right there that they don't want to communicate to their customers? Is there a reason they don't want to communicate to their customers? What's going on, Powertown? You ask for our money every single day, but once you got the money, you're like, I'm never going to talk to that guy ever again. Maybe we'll give them some coins to try to be quiet, like the Matt and Brian thing. Where did this coin idea come from? And of course, Series 1 had some coins. It's just a wild event between all that kind of stuff there. Silence says so much too. It's like, why are they quiet? What are they scared to say? Is it Magnum and Gagne and Sam? Are they afraid to address things? Are they afraid to go rogue and go off on their own? What's going on? How come they can't form communication? And then when communication does come up, it gives us way more questions than we already had. They said, hey, guess what? We're going to be better at communicating. We heard you, fans. and then have communicated nothing since. Their website still to this day shows April delivery on this stuff. You sent out an email blast 6 weeks ago. Why have you not updated your website? Is there a conspiracy around the web programmer? Did you not pay the web programmer so they stopped updating the site? What's going on with that? So there's so many weird things across the board. And maybe I got the diagram out and I'm looking all over the place, but tell me another company that has this many issues, this many stumbling blocks, this many weird things going on. There's just controversy at every step, which leads me to believe it's some kind of a conspiracy. Maybe it's an internal conspiracy on Boomerang, relatively worldwide, Powertown, whatever it may be. But something's going on. Something is wild over there. You don't hear this from KWK. You don't hear this from even Super 7. They've had delays, they've had stuff, but you don't see this much craziness with any other company but Powertown. Why is that? Why is that? Somebody's got to look in the mirror over there. Somebody's got to figure that one out. Obviously, conspiracy, you don't have to use the word, but I think it's fun. It ties into Jesse Ventura. Makes sense to me, and it's just fun to do. Of course, it's fun to have these things, and I like to joke around and play around with all this stuff. It is frustrating, but that's all you can do is joke each and every week, have a discussion about this. Who knows? Maybe we'll get some more free figures this go around. Maybe we'll get some more coins. Maybe we'll get another press release. But I know a lot of people are mad. I've seen it in a lot of Facebook groups this week complaining like, why? It says April. We're past April. It says April. Well, guys, remember 6 weeks ago, they put a press release out, said they will start shipping in summer. So you got to discard that website, unfortunately. You shouldn't have to, but you need to. They're shipping sometime this summer. So what is summer once again? There was a lot of people who reached out to me. Kyle, it's June 1st. That's summer. And June 1st feels like the kickoff of summer. Right after the holiday, it feels like you're ready for summer. But isn't summer technically the 22nd? So theoretically, let's say they ship it out on the 22nd. I bet you they wouldn't even get to the docks till like August something. Then, take 2-3 weeks. They got to send them to like Alabama, I think is where they're based out of. Ship them from there. At best, we're looking at September, I think, right now. I'm not holding my breath. And theoretically, once again, each and every set, there's 3 waves we're waiting on, the Remcos, the Ultras, and of course, TNA Series 1. All those should come at the exact same time. I should have a big box or 3 separate boxes at my doorstep, because I think we paid shipping separately, didn't we? I don't know. It's hard to keep track of this stuff, especially when it's years ago. But we should have 3 different boxes at our doorstep all at the same time. How could they not ship them all out at once? It's going to be very interesting, very telling, but I think it is very clear, no matter what side of the issue you stand on with this one here, whether you think it's a conspiracy or you don't think it's a conspiracy, one thing you got to take for granted, I don't think anybody is going to pre-order ever again from Powertown. It's just not going to happen. You fooled us 2 times, 5 times, 6 times, depending how you count it with the different series. I don't foresee anybody giving them money. So Powertown, I don't work for you. I'm urging you, though, one businessman to another one. If you want to stay in the game, you want to stay in business, and maybe they don't. I don't know. But if you want to stay in this game, you're going to have to figure out a way to work in silence or give us real updates like a lot of these other companies do. And just say, hey, guess what? Ultra Series 3, TNA Series 2, whatever it may be. Here it is. It's up for pre-order. It will be shipping in 2 weeks, though. That's what you got to do. You can't say, hey, it's going to ship immediately today. I get that. You got to logistics, pick the order, fill it, all that kind of stuff, ship it. But you better have it in stock to ship immediately, because you're out of luck. You're just totally out of luck if you think anybody's going to step up and pre-order. They couldn't hit minimum requirements before. I mean, it goes back to the conspiracy thing. Why did they say November 22nd, the last chance, your last chance? And then the orders, I think, are still open on their website. So did they lose their webmaster, or are they playing shenanigans trying to get orders to fill minimum requirements? Once again, conspiracy, I don't know, but they open themselves up for these conspiracies. So man, long diatribe. I know you guys don't want to hear all this, and some do, some don't. Some people are like, Powertown, fast forward. Some people are probably riveted. Somebody's probably sitting there right there with some popcorn, doing one of those kind of things. Maybe I should even do this as a separate video. I don't know, but I'm getting all worked up, got the blood pressure going. Wouldn't have it any other way, would we? Would we? But as the Saved by the Bell kids always say,
dumb.
Stupid.
Crazy.
Once again, the Saved by the Bell kids, they pretty much summed it all up for us here. So a tough one. The Powertown video, I'll probably do as a separate video as well, just for people that missed it or whatever it may be. But I think the Saved by the Bell kids summed it up pretty good. But there's a ton more toy news to dive into. Let's dive into it. And let's start with good friends of the channel, Night Demon. Todd, you said you've been rocking some Night Demon lately, and you went back to the Curse to the Damned album. Is that true? Oh, Todd McFarlane, A1 over there, A1 over there. It's too bad you didn't get the toy license, because Guess what? Night Demon has action figures coming out. It's been so hard for me to keep this secret for like 6 months, whatever it's been, what is time. But I am excited to tell the majority of people, I guess, that watch these about the new Night Demon figure coming. But first, Curse of the Dam 10-year anniversary. Now, I dive into some thoughts of that in the podcast this coming Tuesday, early for YouTube and Patreon members, of course. But Night Demon, Curse of the Dam came out 10 years ago, and they are celebrating that with a gigantic box set full of vinyl, posters, CDs, all kinds of stuff in this box set. I strongly recommend you check this one out. There is only 1,000 available. They're only making 1,000 of these, and $100 or so price point, $125 shipping, tax, whatever it may be. A heck of a value, a heck of a deal for the Night Demon fan out there. And I say it all the time about heavy metal bands. Things go out of print a lot and they skyrocket in value. If there was anything to invest in, it would be a box set like this. They only have 1,000 copies. Have to imagine it'll probably be sold out within the weekend, maybe the next week. We'll see what happens. I don't think they're going to print more. So speak now or forever hold your peace. But for the majority of the audience here watching this video, when you probably hear Night Demon, unless you've become a fan, you probably remember back to the intro video of this video and all the other videos on my channel. Is Night Demon was nice enough to make a song just for this channel. Just for this channel. I've been a supporter since 10 years ago. It seems wild to me, but I've been a fan of this band for 10 years. Extremely hardworking band. Absolutely love what they're doing. Hardcore metal fans enjoy stuff like this, the do-it-yourself attitude, much like punk rock, but really up-and-coming band. I really enjoy Night Demon. I'm so happy for all the success they're having. They did just announce, well, not a while ago, but they're playing the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio, August 9th. I am looking at coming into Cleveland for this one. I think my wife and I need to come in to see this show. I've always wanted to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I can knock that out. I can go to the show, fly back home. We're going to work on that. We got a lot of stuff going on this summer. We'll see if the stars can align, but that is the plan. So we'll see what ends up happening here in the future. But what I'm so excited to announce and talk about, it's already been announced. It was announced yesterday, but they do have a Super 7 style reaction figure coming up around a $20 price point. Now, this will be available at jaystoysandgames.com in the future, but it is up for pre-order right now. I want to say it's shipping in August or something like that, but it is Eugene. That's the guy's name. He's swinging that axe, of course. The cover of the Curse of the Damned album. Sounds like we're going to have more figures for other albums as well. Now, good friend of the channel, another good brother, Kyle, formerly of Super 7, helped design this figure and was a big part of this figure as well. I love Night Demon. I'm going to love Night Demon action figures. Would love to see these branch off to more deluxe figures in the future. Not sure if that's possible or not. They got to get this one under their belt. But this will go up for sale here, of course, at Jay's Toys and Games, or you can get it from Night Demon right now if you search their website out. But very, very excited about Eugene, the first of hopefully many, of course, figures from Night Demon. Get me a Rocky figure. Get me the whole band. Even old Dusty Squires, good wrestling fan as well. Let's get the whole band, of course, from Night Demon. Would love to see more of this stuff in the future, but I love heavy metal. I love my action figures. Bringing those together is always fun. And we've seen Motorhead figures. We've seen Iron Maiden figures. Now another absolute favorite of mine, Night Demon, finally getting figures. Much more to come on that. Of course, we'll review them. We'll talk about them. We'll do all kinds of stuff. I'll probably even do an unboxing of the box set as well. So stay tuned for that in the future. And if you're going to Cleveland for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, definitely check that out August 9th as they're playing the Curse of the Damned album in entirety that night. That should be a heck of a time as well. But speaking of a heck of a time, how about that G.I. Joe live stream this week? Man, riveting, Todd. It was almost better than yours. Oh, yeah, they didn't do a live stream. They canceled it last minute, which I was kind of relieved because I was in a meeting. I was in a work meeting. I was like, man, I'm going to miss that. I always like to hear the surprises as they happen. But I have a pretty strong suspicion these live streams aren't so live. I don't think they're so live. I think it's a tape because they canceled at the last minute. A lot of people think it had to be going on with the riots over there. And of course, California. California, what's going on over there? What's going on over there? It's nice and beautiful over here in the Midwest. You can just stroll outside. All kinds of good stuff happening here in the Midwest. I recommend it to anybody. Cheap living. You find your action figures. That's a lot of fun out here. Come on, join me, everybody. But apparently the riots out there apparently made them stop the stream, and specifically the police officer figure. They felt that wasn't a good way to go. I don't know. I'm not going to lean either way politically on that, but you're just upsetting both sides of the fan base. Oh, we're not going to release a cop figure because we don't like cops. Oh, we're not going to release a cop figure because you don't like cops. Well, I'm a cop. I like Hasbro. I don't know. I don't want to be in the middle of that one. That's for sure. But just wild times to cancel that whole live stream. It's Yojo June after all. I think we know now that my birthday is more important than Yojo June. If they can just cancel the stream, I'm not canceling my birthday for anybody. That's for sure. But we didn't get that stream. However, we did get pre-orders this week. Crankcase, oh, that's what they call it. Yep. Him and the Ostriker went up for pre-order over there at Hasbro Pulse. That one's over there. We did see, I almost said Taurus and Red Dog. Hopefully we see that 2-pack in the future. Man, they got to. It makes a lot of sense. We saw Sergeant Slaughter and Mercer 2-pack. That's an all-timer. I love Mercer, love Sergeant Slaughter. Can't wait for this. Just wish Mercer was a little bit taller. We'll see how it looks at the table when that time does come. We also saw, once again, the police officer was canceled. I got to think they're going to release that down the line when things cool down. Maybe. But we also saw the retro bat and the retro green shirt. Had to order 2 of each of those. Of course, you got to display both looks of the green shirt. And you can always have a couple extra bats hanging around. Nothing bad there. But that was the big announcements or the big pre-orders this week. Live stream canceled. Will there be a live stream next week? I guess we'll wait and see. Got to think there's at least one more this month because they are going to announce the new HasLab. Everybody thinks it's going to be the Snowcat. We'll see where it goes with that one there. But I guess more on Yojo June next week on the channel. But I'm excited for the Joes. Get me all the Joes. You know me by now. Love this kind of stuff. Can't wait for San Diego Comic-Con. Can't wait for the Cold Slither concert. Hopefully I can get in. We'll see what happens to that. But that's going to be a very, very fun one for sure. But we'll stay tuned to Yojo June. But now we dive into something a little bit different. We go to Trick or Treat Studios once again. And man, they've been bombarding with all kinds of stuff. Primarily, a lot of that stuff is not in the scale I collect, but I'm admiring from afar. But this one I will pick up. It is the Mayor Grody. I always called him Mayor Gordy, but I guess it's Grody. Is that right? But he is from the Toxic Crusaders, Toxic Avenger line, of course, the childhood ones. We've seen Dr. Kill-Em-Off. We've seen Toxie at Walmart. Have to think he'll be part of that same thing. Have to be imagined he'll be part of one of those shippers, one of those 4-foot displays inside of Walmart. Maybe for Halloween. We'll see what happens there. But a big deluxe figure. I'm here for this. I like that they're sticking to this line, and it looks like they're going to finish it out. Fingers crossed once again. We also saw our friends over at Mondo this week. The ups and downs of Mondo. The tariffs, Todd? Yes, I know the tariffs. The up and down of those, the up and down of the shipping. Do we pay shipping? Do we not pay shipping? And then the price increases. There's a lot going on with Mondo, but still very fun stuff. But unfortunately, we did see Buzz Off. He was delayed to June. Now they didn't want to give him up for my birthday. They're going to put that B in August. So Buzz Off coming in August as of now. We'll see what happens there. I almost wonder if they're delaying shipping him because they're hoping pricing would be cheaper as far as the tariffs go. And there was tariffs in the news this week. Once again, you just got to see where that goes. You got to give it a couple of days and see if it sticks. We'll see what happens. But Buzz Off coming in August right now. Carnage, Spider-Man animated series up for pre-order right now. If you need Carnage, man, I have Venom, I have Spider-Man. I thought I was whole. Do I need Carnage? Do I just complete the Maximum Carnage saga? Where does it end? I don't know. Long game. Maybe go to Jay's Toys and Games and I'll save 15% on Carnage when he does come in stock down the road. I think that's what I'm leaning towards doing. We'll see what happens there. We also saw Ghostbuster Week last week, or weekend, or Ghostbuster Day. Ghostbuster Day, I think it was what it was. They announced the HasLab back out there again. I wouldn't be happy if I bought that once upon a time. I know there's some changes. I still wouldn't be too happy about it. That's coming. We got some more Ghostbusters news later in this video, but Mondo did show off a little bit of Winston Zedmore. Have to think he's coming up for pre-order here in about a week or so. We'll see what happens with that, but we got more Ghostbuster news to talk about here shortly. But as Jerry Reed always says, we've got a long way to go and a short time. And Jerry, not even kidding, we got a whole other page of news. So let's dive into it. Now we got the San Diego Comic-Con portion of the episode here. A lot of stuff announced this week about what's coming and going, or more like coming for San Diego Comic-Con. Mattel is on the clock. We're not sure if John Cena is going to be that exclusive for wrestling. What are we going to see for Masters of the Universe? What, Todd McFarlane? You're anxiously awaiting Monster High? Oh, okay. Well, at least one of us is. But there's a lot of stuff to come from Mattel. Have to imagine the next couple of weeks we'll hear and see that stuff. So fingers crossed is something we do want. The heaviest hitter this week came to us from Hasbro and the Marvel Legends in the Gamerverse with Snap. I think that's an online mobile game. I don't think I've ever played a game on my cell phone in my entire life. I don't have time for those shenanigans. I wish I did. I envy those that do. One day I will, and everybody's going to be jealous of me. Kyle, what do you do all day? Well, I sleep until 10. I walk the dogs. I eat lunch. I play Snap on my phone, and then I walk the dogs again. I eat a little bit of a snack, and then my wife comes home from work because she's going to be supporting me at that time. And then I eat dinner, and then I go to bed like a real old man. Oh, it's going to be a riveting life. I can't wait for that to happen. But we did see a little Gamerverse from the Snap game, I guess, and it's going to be Sauron, a Build-A-Figure. And it's funny, when we unboxed some of the Savage Land, I think we did Professor X was the last one. I said, Sauron's coming. There's too much meat on that bone. They're going to come back out with him. And here we are with an updated Sauron. We also saw Rogue. Oh, Rogue. How about that right there? Talk about my wife going wild with Girls Gone Wild. Rogue looks like she's ready to go wild as well. And then we saw Shayna. We saw her last week, I think it was, in the toy news. So now we know that's a 3-pack of the Savage Land. I'm here for that. That's going to be a popular one. That's a must pick up for me on my San Diego Comic-Con shopping list. We'll see what happens with that. Talked about Ghostbusters earlier. We got the Ecto 1 being re-released, this time glow-in-the-dark. Oh my gosh, glow-in-the-dark, boys. You know I love glow-in-the-dark, Todd McFarlane. I don't know if I'm going to pick this one up, though. As much as I want to, as much as I want those Ghostbusters, you can't get everything. But it does look cool for those that love Ghostbusters. If that's all you're collecting, home run for you, I have to imagine. But NECA came in extra hot this week, and we do know this coming Wednesday, the 18th, I will actually be in Omaha, Nebraska. Shout out to Nebraska. I'm going to the Daniel Tosh show that night, so shout out to Daniel Tosh as well. But Surf's Up Chucky is coming. Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Glow in the Dark. Speaking of Glow in the Dark, those two were announced this week. We got the Turtles last week. We got a few other things coming. They are going for pre-order starting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. When the day's allotment sells out, you hope your best the next day. And we had to do that last year. I'm all in on that because I don't like lugging all this NECA stuff around San Diego Comic-Con, putting it in my luggage or shipping it home. I'll just order from NECA, say I'm done, and worry about other things at the con. That's my plan as well. But hopefully I can grab Surf's Up Chucky. Absolutely wild, absolutely crazy. That's exactly why I like it. I love that idea. Bride of Frankenstein, probably the worst of the glow-in-the-dark figures. I did mention it to my dad, and he said he just hung up. He just clicked. I said, Dad, you won't believe what's coming. Do you want to do the unboxing? And he just clicked. He didn't even say anything, just disappeared, never called me back or anything. You don't want any part of that. And I don't blame him because really the head is the only thing glowing in the dark. Come on, what are we doing there? But I gotta have it to keep complete. And I think that's going to be the final figure of that set. Could be. So we'll see that one there. I'm shocked we haven't seen something from Alf. Are we out of Alf ideas, Todd? You can sketch any Alf ideas for us? Mark Summers, you got a whole list? Oh my gosh, Mark Summers just had the big scroll and it just went all the way down off the couch onto the floor. So you got some ideas for some more Alfs. That's interesting. So we'll see on that. But I wonder if we'll have Alf announced here shortly. It feels weird to have a Comic-Con without a special Alf, but we'll see what ends up happening there. But like I said, next week's the pre-orders. If you're not going to San Diego, this is where you're going to shine. This is where you're going to pick them up. Have to imagine they'll sell out. It might take you 3 days to get everything, but I think if you're diligent and patient, I think you'll find your way. That's just me believing in you, of course. Hasbro, a little Star Wars. We don't talk a lot of Star Wars. Outside of Lando Calrissian and the hairy bipedal creatures, they pretty much lost me from Star Wars. But we did see the battle for Mustafar, of course, Anakin versus Obi-Wan, a pivotal thing in the trilogy, that trilogy especially. Absolutely loved that battle scene way back when. Still holds up to me. Very cool pack. I'm going to pass, unfortunately, but I really do like the looks of this one. That is a cool one. If you're a Star Wars collector, it's got to be a must-have, doesn't it? You got to have that one there. We also saw, last but certainly not least, we saw the Golden Girls and Three's Company from Syndicate Collectibles, little 3-pack small figures there, San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. Everybody wants a little Golden Girls collection. Everybody wants Three's Company, except for me. But I never watched Three's Company. For whatever reason, I watched all these reruns in the 80s. I watched all these classic shows. But I think Three's Company in the 80s felt too new. It didn't feel like a classic show, so it wasn't on Nick at Night at the time. It wasn't really in reruns like a lot of shows are in this day and age, so I never really watched Three's Company. And Golden Girls, just every Saturday when I was at my grandma's, when I'd stay with my grandma's, of course that would be on. Empty Nest, I was watching Empty Nest, I was watching the Golden Girls. So I'm here for the Golden Girls, just not here enough to collect them. It's wild. There are a lot of people show online too. Like, here's the Golden Girls' ages at this time, and they look like old grandmas. And then they show somebody like Salma Hayek or something is the same age as Blanche was at once upon a time. Always blows my mind. So crazy times. But speaking of blowing minds and blowing other things, Todd McFarlane, it's time for you to shine. We're going to close it out with some Todd McFarlane stuff. And I told you guys last week, he's laying in the weeds. He's going to go so hard. You're going to be so hard, you're going to put somebody's eye out with that thing, Todd. He's got so much stuff coming at us. And I got to thank you, Todd. You sent me a care package this week. Check out my social media. You'll see it in weekly purchases. Very nice of the McFarlane Toys Company to think of me. They said they enjoy the videos, enjoy the promotion of the McFarlane Toys stuff. Do they? Do they? I think they do. We're blood brothers, Todd McFarlane. You and I are going to seal the deal in San Diego in more ways than one. It's going to be awesome. But a lot of stuff this week in the stream for San Diego. I got San Diego Comic-Con on the mind. a lot of stuff in the stream for McFarlane Toys. And as I said last week, they're going to hit us with a lot of stuff. They're going to get the most out of their molds. They're going to get the most out of their license. They're going to carry this DC stuff off, and they're going to try to get all the heavy hitters, whatever can get them as much money as they possibly can on the way out. They're going to do. I would do the same thing if I was in their shoes. And we saw a laundry list of stuff announced. I guess we'll start it off with some other things outside of the stream. We saw at the end of last week, Mortal Kombat. We knew those were coming. We saw the packaging for Sub-Zero. Very cool. Almost reminds me of Jada Toys with a little bit of that arcade style packaging. Very, very cool. I am a sucker for Mortal Kombat, but you guys, once upon a time, I did a That's So Hard to Say Goodbye, probably episode 15 or something like that. Who knows which one it was, where I sold all my Mortal Kombat. So we'll see. Will there be enough meat on the bone to dive me back in? We'll see what happens there. We also saw it for pre-order this week. I will get this, play a little long game. We'll see what happens. Superman Godzilla 2-pack. I got Kong and Batman. I got to finish it off right here. Not necessarily my Godzilla, but I do like this. I just do not like the price point at all, like a lot of people. I think a lot of people will buy this if it was $20, $30 cheaper, no doubt about it. And that's where you try to wait and get a little bit of a deal. We also saw Target, the 5-year anniversary of the Geek Out event. Oh, we're geeking out over here, apparently. But we did see Kite Man, Target exclusive, go up for order. Man, I saw that for $30. Then I saw it was a collector's edition. But man, feels a little rough at $30 on Kite Man. Maybe that's me personally. A very plain figure. Yes, you got the kite on the back. Everybody loves a kite, of course. I used to fly a kite back in the day. But I don't know. $30 is a stretch. But it is a Target exclusive as well. And a collector's edition. So pick your poison there. We also saw some Batman the Animated Series figures. We don't really cover those on the channel. My dad collects them, though. My dad collects them. But we're getting into the live stream, and one shocking thing from this live stream, it almost felt like a joke when I heard it, but they are going to do a Superman movie figure as a Ross exclusive. How did that come about? You can tell me offline, Todd. But Ross, of course, a discount retailer, cutting out a little bit of the middleman, the Target, Walmart. It's a dumbed down version of Superman, but a cool idea and a new avenue for McFarlane Toys. Will Hasbro, will Mattel, some of these other companies follow suit? Could they start delivering straight to the Burlingtons, the Rosses, the TJ Maxxes, the Dress for Lesses, the Ollies? Could we just go straight to Ollies in the future? There's all the Roses. There's a lot of these kind of places out there that usually relies on Target, Walmart leftovers, things that companies like McFarlane couldn't sell. Going to be interesting as everybody's trying to get different avenues to get their wares. I don't care if we're talking grocery or we're talking action figures. This is an unprecedented move and should be studied. We'll see where that goes in the future. We also saw the McFarlane Store exclusive kind of cover art edition. We'll call it Kingdom Come Superman, all there in a fiery red. Looks very cool. Going to pick that one up over at the McFarlane Store, of course. We also saw the Digital Wave, a new Digital Wave, one of the sublines from McFarlane. We saw Batgirl, not necessarily my Batgirl. No Man's Land Batman. Todd, you never met a Batman you didn't like. We know that. Monarch is looking good, and Disco Nightwing. Oh, baby, playing all the hits right there like a young Barry Gibb. That's what we're doing with Disco Nightwing. Looking very good there. But then we go back to Target, and we go to future Target exclusives. We do got Mr. Miracle. Very cool. Giving me the old 80s vibe with that one there. And we got Sandman. No, not that Sandman, Mark Summers. Todd, fill him in on the Sandman differences. He's thinking ECW. Mark Summers, a closet ECW fan and a hardcore beer drinker from what I've seen on the couch. You always spilling on that arm there. You need to clean that up too. It reminds me. But Mr. Miracle and Sandman coming as Target exclusives. Look pretty good, I did think. So I'll be picking those up as well. And we saw mainline releases. These are the ones not to get too worked up about. They're going to be all over the place. Target, Walmart, DJC Collectibles, Jay's Toys and Games, Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store. You'll be able to find them wherever you want to. It is Azrael, of course, one of the greatest cats ever from the Smurfs, as we do know. What? Oh, it's not that one. I always get those confused, of course. But no, we've seen this multiple times. Now we're seeing the red edition, the Kenner edition, I believe it is called. And I had that edition once upon a time. So we'll see that one. Batwing 2.0. And Todd, you pulled that trick on me last wing with your Batwings. And I didn't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate that Batwing joke. Look it up, folks. Look it up. We also saw another Batman with some wild ears on that Batman. I don't know what that's all about. That's crazy to me. But those are some mainline releases coming here in the future. And then we saw more collector's edition. We saw Beast Boy, one of my daughter's all-time favorites from her Teen Titan days. We had a Beast Boy in the past. Now we get a different Beast Boy, a more classic Beast Boy coming to us. Metron and Chair. I'm not even familiar with this guy. I don't know how this missed me. Maybe I'm just not thinking of it. I'll have to look up some comics on him. We got him coming. We got the Mirror Master. Oh, mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest reviewer of them all? Well, it's the guy in the pink and yellow Western shirt here with the cactus on it. That's for sure. But we got Mirror Master coming around the corner. And last but certainly not least, a classic version of Deathstroke as well. I am here for that. That looks really, really good. Going to be very excited to get that one in the collection. But Todd coming in hot with like 20 plus figures announced this week. Have to imagine San Diego Comic-Con is going to be an all-timer. But Todd, every time I go to San Diego Comic-Con, you don't have a huge setup. It's not like some of the other companies. So I'm hoping this year he just sets up stuff everywhere. It's going to just be wild. Todd will get his bat wings out. It's just going to be a great time. We'll see what ends up happening there. But that is it for the toy news. A lot going on this week. A ton of stuff going on this week, and we're ramping up to San Diego Comic-Con, as I said earlier. We'll see how that all ends up going, but a colossal edition of the toy news this week. But what were you interested in? What are you excited about? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. The least you can do is like the video, give it the old thumbs up, subscribe to this channel and my other YouTube channel, 2 channels with videos each and every single day. Of course, Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com. Of course, the brand new podcast, me and my wife Angie, each and every single Tuesday wherever podcasts are found, with video cast on YouTube. YouTube channel members and Patreon members get early access to that and everything else we do between both channels. Appreciate the support over there. Check out my book, The Complete Guide to the ECW Original San Francisco Toy Makers. So for another busy week of toy news, you know what I'm doing? I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into another weekend.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?